All right, gang. As promised, man, we got Justin from Zephaniah on the line. Dude, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine, man. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Thank you for calling into the Keep It Metal show, man, and hanging out with us for a bit.
Oh, yeah, man. Anytime. Try to make that time happen.
Cool, man. So why don't you give us a little history on the band, man? Tell us what Zephaniah is all about. How did it all become?
Well, we started about 8-some years ago as a band, and, basically not knowing, we're all younger guys before we were 21, and we didn't know what we wanted to do, but we all had a heart for metal and, thrash metal and, like, bands like Manowar and Iron Maiden, and just got together and started up, and through very many member changes got a solid lineup, toured and played around and recorded our Stories from the Book of Metal album. Then we had some personal differences about, I think, like 3 or 4 years into it, and we broke up. Go 4 years later, 2014, a couple promoters were wanting us to do a couple reunion shows, and overall we all kind of just wanted to do it again without some of the old members that we didn't want to work with anymore, and we decided to keep it going, and it's definitely been a great decision that we've done that, because we've definitely gotten some pull, and we're in the studio right now recording our second album, Reforged.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. So how'd you guys decide on the name Zephaniah, man?
Well, we rehearsed, and we're like, one day after rehearsal, after playing a bunch of songs, we're like, hey, man, we're going to have to choose a name, because we really had not chosen a name. So we're like, young kids, and we're just like, oh, man, they have really cool names in the Bible. So we were like, yeah, let's choose some name out of the Bible, and we thought Zephaniah was a really killer metal sounding name. We were like, that's the only reason why,
Cool.
You can't, that no one was ever going to duplicate or replicate, that we wouldn't have to fight for the name, you know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
That's basically how we chose the name.
Cool, man, cool. So tell us about the songwriting, man. Would you say, is it a one-person effort? Is it a group effort?
It is very much a group effort at this point. Back in the day, I wrote a lot of the material, as well as, a few other members threw in their 2 cents as well. But now the way we write is we each, we all just write individual songs and we bring them to the band. We all learn them and decide what we want to change and what we don't want to change. So in the end, it's like this guy writes a song, and then we come in as a group and tear it apart and figure out other cool stuff we can throw on top of it. So each guy gets to write their own arrangement to that song but if something works, so no one ever gets left out of not being able to write something or say, hey, we should cut this part in half, or hey, let's add this riff in here to kind of add it up, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a very kind of like an efficient way where it's like we each get to write a song, but we each get to put our few cents so it doesn't just sound like the same person writing over and over again, you know what I mean?
Cool, man, cool. So how would you describe your sound to people?
Very power metal and thrash. So it's basically like Testament, Dragon Force, and Manowar all had a baby, and that's what happens, But we definitely have a lot more progressive roots, where we don't just play in that kind of like, we're going to be a thrash band, we're going to be power. We like to jump out of the box, so you're going to hear a bunch of weird stuff as well. But definitely Guitar Olympics like Dragon Force, definitely sing-along choruses like Manowar, and thrashy riffs kind of like Testament.
Cool, man. So when did you pick up your guitar, man, and when did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
Well, I was 11 years old, and I got grounded from bad grades again, so it was a longer punishment. So I got grounded from video games for a year, and my father played guitar, and I was bored of watching television, so I was like, hey, let me pick that up, and that's basically when I started playing and started learning, and I decided probably 3 years into it, like, this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Like, this is what I wanted to get paid money for. This is what I wanted to do. There's nothing else that I had desire to do, but this.
Cool, dude. How about the first song you can remember learning to play?
Oh, man. I do not remember. It's probably some Nirvana song. Something that was power chords and easy to learn. But I do remember learning a lot of Zeppelin and early Metallica stuff.
Cool. So, dude, when you're not writing, rehearsing, playing with the band, what do you do for a day off, man? What do you enjoy doing?
Well, I enjoy playing video games, and I also enjoy going to see other people play. That's what I really like to do. I like to take a night on the town or take a night to a different city with the girlfriend, and we just hit up shows, and we hit up record stores, and we hit up art places. And that's what I like to do. Is definitely like to listen to music and go to record shows and stuff like that.
Cool, dude. Cool. So, who would you say are your personal musical influences?
I'm very influenced by Jason Becker and Marty Friedman. They're definitely one of my biggest influence on guitar-wise. I was obsessed with Cacophony, so I always wanted to create a band that had dual guitar players, as well as have the fun catchiness of bands like Manowar, because I'm also obsessed with them.
Awesome, band. I love that band.
Oh, yeah.
So, what would you say is your most memorable moment so far?
Memorable moment as in just playing with Zephaniah?
Or all together, man?
Well, I've gotten some great opportunities. Most memorable moment right now is I just recorded guitar with the band Viking on their new album, No Child Left Behind, and it's going to hit out in March. And that features Ron Erickson on vocals, the original Viking guy.
Very cool.
And Mike Gonzalez of Dark Angel, Gene Hoglan on drums, and me on guitar. And I think it's a very, very thrashy album. So if you're into old 80s thrash metal bands from the Bay Area, you'll probably know of Viking.
Very cool, man. Awesome. Dude, let's take it the other way. Do you have any Spinal Tap moments you want to share with us?
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, we played this show, and it was a packed show, and the crowd was wild for every band. I forget where it was, somewhere in northeastern Indiana. And, it was so cool. I had just seen this album. I think it was Trilogy by Yngwie Malmsteen. And I saw him where he threw his guitar in the air. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to try that sometime. And I was young, and later I'd watched him throw that guitar in the air, and he just let it hit the ground. But this particular show, I threw it up in the air 6 or 7 feet, and then I realized, oh, that's a $1,300 instrument I got to catch, and I caught it on my face.
Oh.
String, so I was bleeding out of the sides of my face.
Oh.
But it was like our last song, so. But they called for an encore, so I had to play this encore while not trying to pass out from blood loss.
Oh my God! Wow.
It was a very interesting evening. I still kind of have a small scar on my face because of it.
Wow.
But very Spinal Tap moment, like, oops, that was dumb.
Dude, so now would you say the band has evolved since over the years?
Yes, I think we have evolved. We've definitely matured in our sound, and it's definitely going in a very diverse direction where it's like we have these very, very, very good musicians in our band that any of them I work with, they can learn the most difficult stuff that I throw at them, and is definitely well-versed in creativity. Each guy just doesn't like metal. They like all kinds of music. So it helps us, think out of the box a lot more. So we're not just going to be stuck in a box. So when you go see our show, you're not just going to hear this song and then the same song 3 times. You know what I mean?
Right. Very cool, man. So now, what advice would you have for bands just starting out, man?
Bands starting out, make sure you have really good equipment. and make sure you're well rehearsed. I would say that's the number one thing. And also, don't be dicks. That'd be number two thing. You don't want your ego to get in the way. You just started out, and some people like your music. Doesn't mean you get to be a huge dick. So don't be a dick. That'd be my number one thing.
Cool, man. Cool. So are you guys on a label? Are you looking for one?
We're looking for a label to at least release this album that we're in the studio in right now with. So we're kind of going to shop around with it. I have a couple people helping me out with that, including Ben with online metal promo.
Cool.
Shop around so we can at least get it distributed, to internationally as well as within the United States. Because, I wanted to make sure it was available to everyone and anyone can get a hold of it.
Awesome, man. What is the ultimate goal for the band?
Ultimately, we want this to be our living. We want to go out on the road, come back with money so we can eat.
That's a good thing, right?
And then, just keep playing out, keep releasing stuff, and, making money playing heavy metal, which is very difficult. That's why several of us are in several bands just to make that extra buck, you know what I mean? We have to work our second jobs so we can maintain this.
I hear you, man. I hear you. It's not like back in the day, right?
Right, it's not like, we get picked up and we're going to pay for everything. I'm like, hey, feed me.
Dude, so you guys have any upcoming shows you want to talk about?
Yeah, we've got a couple upcoming shows actually in March. We've got a show in our town and with a band out of Louisville called Stonecutters. They're pretty cool thrash band out of Louisville, and so we're helping them out on a couple shows up here. We have a show in Lafayette, Indiana at the Doom Room on the 20th of March, and then we are playing the Automaton CD release show in Covington, Kentucky, which is around Cincinnati area. And that's going to be a pretty packed one, playing with Stagecoach Inferno. And then I think in May, we're playing up in Kalamazoo. Not much details on that one. We're playing over at Shakespeare's. And then we have another show in town. I'm bringing Wrath from Chicago in town on June 6th. So that's another old 80s thrash band that I've actually shared the stage with in New York, out of all places, before. But they're coming to Fort Wayne for a show.
Very cool, man. Very cool. So you guys pretty much you keep busy, or you try to, right?
Yeah, we try to. We want to make sure we're still, rebuilding our regional base that we used to have. And right now we're just trying to build that regional. So, you'll see us all over the Midwest for quite a bit. And, we'll hit up a couple of our regular spots. Like last year we hit up a tour up to New York and came back. And then we're going to probably tour down to Atlanta either in August, just like a couple weekend runs once we get this album out. That's our biggest thing, but we are trying to stay busy, keep our chops up.
Cool, man. So where can the listeners find Zephaniah?
You can definitely find us on our Facebook and Twitter, but you can also find us at our website, which is zephaniahband.com. ZEPHANIAHBAND.com. So it's very easy to find us. Just kind of look up Zephaniah Band or Zephaniah Metal, and you'll be able to find us, like I said, on those two social networks. And you'll have all our links to songs, upcoming shows, bios, and everything you need to know about Zephaniah.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Dude, the song I want to play tonight, Antietam, what can you tell us about the tune?
It was off our first album, Stories from the Book of Metal. It's our second track on there. Basically, we have our intro track and then our opening track of Antietam. This song, we're really into battle, so we like to sing about battle all the time as much as possible. So this one is particular about the Civil War, the bloodiest day in American history, which is the Battle of Antietam. the most Americans were killed pretty much on that day, because it was both sides Americans killing each other. So we talk about this bloodiest day of American history, and we love battle, so it all works out.
Awesome, dude. Justin, I want to thank you, man, for calling into the Keep It Metal show tonight and hanging out with me for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, anytime, man. It was a fun chat we had.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Hang on one second. Listeners, check this out. Zephaniah and Tatum will be right back.
Disparaging their vast ranks, all the breeds they roll.
kick ass, man. Kick ass. Zephaniah Antietam. Justin from Zephaniah. Awesome dude. Thanks again, brother, for calling in and chatting with us tonight. That was great. Hey, gang, I am just about out of time. But, I will be back here next week. And I believe, let me see, Van Lade, they're going to be here. They're calling in. That should be cool. Be sure you're here. Let's see, man. KeepItMetalPromotions.com. My site. Your home for unsigned independent metal. Check this out. Metal Assault Volume 2. We got about, I think we're up to 20-some bands now. And we're looking for a few more. There's a couple more spots, bands. If you're interested in being on this digital compilation, hit me up on Facebook. While you're there, throw me a like on the Keep It Metal show and Keep It Metal Promotions. I probably should have started that page for the Keep It Metal show back when I started as a DJ 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was now. But anyway, like the Keep It Metal show. Let's see. I think that just about does it for me this week. Again, I want to thank Justin for calling in tonight from Zephaniah. Thank you, the listeners. It cannot be done without your support for unsigned independent metal and the Keep It Metal show. You guys rock. I will see you next week. As always, be safe, stay well, keep it metal.